For the past couple of years, each year I've given myself a reading goal with the ultimate goal to reach being able to read 52 books a year. That would be one book per week in a year. And so this year would have been the year that I would have read 30 books, or I'm trying to, I haven't given up yet. However, when December rolled around and I actually looked at my progress, and then I noticed, I'm like, oh snap, I'm like 9 books behind schedule. That just means that come December, I should have been reading roughly, I should have read about, I don't know, I think 25, 26 books or something like that, just so that I can go ahead and finish out the year or round out the 30 by the end of the month. However, that has not been the case, and that just made me think about, like, what the heck have I been doing all year long? We've been in quarantine. If there was ever a year that I could have read and hit the goal, surely it would have been this year. But that's not the case. And then that just made me think of even more about, like, what are you doing with your life? And so these are just some of the conclusions that I came up with. So the immediate thought that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna power down and I'm just gonna like read all of it. I'm just gonna like have a reading marathon from here until the end of the year. And I might try to do that. I might want to hit the goal. I have some books I've been waiting to read. However, in case that does not happen, I've allowed myself to think about this as I have not failed, but I've made progress. And just because we're talking about books, what really can we say about the way all of us have lived 2020? The ones that are just, surviving to tell the story. And the thought that really came to mind is that if we really just look at what we got to do and what we didn't get to do, then the lists are not going to be very balanced, right? We're going to have a whole lot of things that we really didn't get to do. And there are going to be some things that we got to do. And so if we are really just looking and comparing those two things, that just might lead to a lot of frustration. I don't know for you, but it might for me. And so I said, surely that's not the way for us to think about progress and all the things that we were able to really, get to 2020. 2020 gave us a curveball in all kinds of different directions. I think we just were not, maybe we weren't ready for it because we just were not expecting it to be this way. But what if some of us were? What if some of us all along were developing kind of the tenacity to be able to survive a year like this? If that was your case, congratulations to you. For the rest of us, we're just kind of going day by day. But nonetheless, I believe that if we are able to give ourselves freedom to think about progress, then we can really give 2020 a fair assessment for ourselves in our lives and the things that we live through. So when I talk about progress, what I mean by that is that, 2020 came with a lot of changes. And so if you allowed yourself to be challenged by that, to rise to the occasion, change and adapt, then surely you've made progress. And if you think about all the different areas where you yourself had to just adapt, make changes, and just kind of shift and rethink some of the ways of how you used to do things or the things that you just point blank used to do, then surely you've made progress. That just means that if you've made progress, 2020 was not all bad. If change is inevitable, then it is inevitable for us to stay the same. We just cannot afford to. And if we are staying the same, then at that point, that is really when we are doing ourselves a disservice and holding ourselves back. So in order to not discard the entire year, I would say that don't look at the things you didn't get to do, the things you did get to do. No, at some point that becomes irrelevant because there were a lot of things that had to get canceled in order for us to get to the end of 2020. But if you look at the things that you yourself were able to change just internally, maybe are the things that nobody else gets to see, but you know for yourself that you were able to adapt, to change, and allow them to be transformed, then surely you can say 2020 was a successful year. 2020 was not a throwaway year. 2020 counted. 2020 was good in that sense. Not everything that happened was good. No, it wasn't. However, if you can come out of it looking at the ways that you've changed, that you've made progress, then surely 2020 was not all bad. It was not all bad. And that is what I want to encourage you with today. It's not about how many books you read. It's just about how many of those books would you have allowed to shift your thinking, to allow you to reimagine, to dream, to go beyond maybe the things that your immediate surrounding, and to see yourself in just different. Different is not bad. Different is just different. And so if you look at 2020 as the year where everything was just terrible, then guess what? You will end the year with it being terrible. But if you allow yourself to think about the ways that 2020 just gave you the opportunity to change, transform, and shift, then 2020 for you personally was a good year. Because at the end of the day, that's what all of us can hope for. Even when the Bible says, do not conform to the ways of this world, but to be transformed in your understanding, that speaks to change, that speaks to transformation, that speaks to progress. And so 2020, if you allow just that one little thing to be true in your life, then surely 2020 was not a bad year. So however you choose to spend the rest of 2020, just take it all in. Take in all the different ways that all the different opportunities that we've been given to change, adapt, and do different, be different, and let's just continue to rise to the occasion. So with that, I wish you a blessed rest of 2020, and hopefully 2021 will be a little bit different. And so that's all what we can hope for. So until next time, bye bye.